Okay. All right, I've got 15. I've got 15 speakers giving their time to Larry Downs Jr. So let's just go through these and make sure everybody's here. And just follow our protocol. Diane Downs. Okay. Larry Downs Sr. Larry Downs Sr. Okay, so he's not here. I don't think he's here. 14. If he comes, we'll add the time. Michael Bearden, I saw he's here. Dorothy Garrett. Oh, hi, Dorothy. Okay. Randy Cudd, I saw Randy. David Coker? Ah, okay, he's here. Clyde Coker? Oh, okay, all right. Alice Downs? Okay. Kevin Wade, I saw Kevin. Melissa Pino, I saw Melissa. Mark Jarman. Mark Jarman's here. Park McAdams. Okay. Tracy McAdams. Dean Kirshner, I saw Dean's here. Larry Downs Jr., we saw him. W.S. Esch. Okay. All right, so we got 14. And if Larry Downs Sr. shows up, we'll add the 3 minutes. So 42 minutes. So 42 minutes, Larry. Now, you don't have to use all that time. In fact, we kind of like it if you don't. Just saying.
I won't use it.
All right. You're recognized.
How many minutes does Larry have?
42 minutes.
42
but I told him he
minutes.
didn't have to use it all.
Well, I'll give him another 42.
Oh, okay, we have a video.
Can
You're going to give him another 42? You're very generous this evening. Yeah, go ahead.
I have 3 exhibits. Can I?
Sure. Can someone please? Okay, thank you. Looks like Matt's going to grab them. Thanks, Matt.
Time's running.
That's okay. He's got plenty of time. Remember, you don't have to use it all.
Not enough money.
Use it all.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and start. I can't stay any longer than this public forum because it's my wife's birthday. She's been teaching school all day. So
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Hey, Larry, if you want to go in 2 minutes and go celebrate her birthday, we're good with that, too.
We may wish her a
Yeah,
happy
that's
birthday.
right. Enjoy your wife. Now, you only get married once. Well, most people.
The only, well, let's go ahead and do this. All right. Real quick, and I know that the Eager Beaver issue, the permit, is on the docket, but
Yes.
I can't stay around to speak on that, so I'm just going to give you all my opinion on it, and then we'll roll on from there. Then I'll go to the video. Of course, this permit should have been issued or ordered back in 2016. It's since, from what I understand, matter of fact, I've got a picture of it here that I forgot to get a copy of it. But anyways, the order was pushed through on, here it is. Maybe I took it on this one. Luckily, I got enough time.
You got plenty of time, man. You still have 40 minutes left. Again, but you don't have to use it all.
Here we go. All right. So anyways, there was a different criteria for Eager Beaver. And what happened was, it was originally turned down by the board. And I'm assuming from what Douglas has posted, or County Commissioner D2 has posted publicly back in 2016, I'm assuming he had some say in it. I know he had the vote in it. Anyways, whenever it goes back before y'all again, after the case was lost in court, and of course, they're having to sue the county for their rights, their property rights, which we know exists. I mean, as much as, the government doesn't want them to exist, they exist.
Yep.
So directing of the office of the county attorney to appeal the court's order, which was given, it was given to y'all that these people have the right to their permit. So it was directed to appeal it. So Evidently, our local government didn't agree with the judge. Then B, this is on that date. And then B, which is later in 2017, directing staff to amend the code to address all future applications for issuance of a certain conditional use approvals and recycling permits. Now, what I got a problem with is whenever they applied for this in 2016, there was a different set of rules. Then, when the case was lost in court, y'all decided to file an appeal, and at the same time, you decided to add some more requirements that he wouldn't have been subject to if y'all would have granted him if he would have not had his property rights denied, his zoning rights denied. So now I don't see how you can go back or how you can go forward and say, well, now we're going to give you a permit that we should have given you back in 16. But we're going to add a whole bunch of other stuff. But the existing businesses that are already operating, they're grandfathered in to the old way. Now that doesn't seem fair. Costs them all that money to take you out of court for their rights. And then along the way, add more hurdles for them that doesn't even really apply to their business. They're not crushing concrete. They are simply grinding up tree debris on a 70-something acre parcel. That's their right. It's zoned for it. So anyways, I'm asking y'all not to require them to go to a new, anything that's beyond the date that they initially applied. It just wouldn't be fair. So y'all should grant them their permit as you should have in 2016, as it was written in 2016. Anything other than that would be dishonest and or unfair to this citizen, tax-paying citizen, business, employing people. All right. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and move on. All right, here's something that y'all might want to listen to. Oh, this is on Eager Beaver as well. This is exhibit number.
Larry, is this one that you gave us? Because I got exhibit 1, 2, 3, but they're all about
Exhibit 1, 2, and 3. All right, I'm going to exhibit number 3 because it's still relating to Eager Beaver.
Okay.
All right, right after the 2016, December 2016, right after y'all denied their permit to do the business that the judge has said at least 2-3 times now that they have the right to do, Douglas goes online publicly, Commissioner D2, sorry, he was a friend of mine at one point. Has anyone, this is his words, his public, and this is where I have a problem, is whenever government officials go publicly and show people, they get their feathers up. Hey, we're all this. I think y'all are forgetting the way this is supposed to work. We're not supposed to come hat in hand begging y'all for our rights. But that's what Douglas says to everybody. Telling them, you better get your hat in your hand. You better do it right. So I'm gonna read it to you. Has anyone noticed the pattern that if you come to the BOCC with an arrogant demeanor, how ironic is that coming from County Commissioner D2? With an arrogant demeanor, you are likely to get what you want. And if you do your homework and state the facts, you do. ? I question that. Eager Beaver walked up. Now, he mentions their name in a public forum. I know Mr. Lumen May wouldn't do that. No kind of way. I've never seen it anyways. Eager Beaver walked in last night with the facts against them and clear track record of non-compliance bordering on a contempt for the rules. That's utter ridiculousness, especially considering that Mr. Douglas has contempt for the rules, obviously. Oh, I must have gave the... Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go forward here. I'm starting to get worked up.
Don't let that happen.
I'm trying not to. Contempt for the rules, he says. Oh, and in one of the Seafarer emails, he points in there. He points out, of the ridiculous rules or something to that effect when going to the, when relating to the sale of seafarer property. But it's nonsense for him, but not for us. To add to that, their attorney couldn't play by the House rules, disrespected the citizens at the podium. Who does that sound like? And played loose with the facts, trying to act like they invented the concept of recycling in Escambia County. Now, all they wanted was their rights. That's all they wanted. They wanted what is guaranteed to them by our local zoning ordinances and the ability to operate a business. But he has contempt for that because Mr. Jock Eager Beaver didn't come in here with hat in hand. That's terrible. By the way, this government is the reason why I've lost all this hair, starting back in almost 19, in 2005.
No, don't worry, Larry. I was going to ask you to take the hat off eventually anyway. So
Yeah. Well, I wore it up here as a prop. Hat in hand. Okay,
Amos and Andy. Yeah, I've watched it.
All right. Sort of reminded me, this is from Douglas, sort of reminded me of the low-income tax credit people last month. Well, they got the exact results they should have expected. So those are the type of results we are to expect from our local government. That's something that's just not acceptable. And somehow or another, we have to start, convincing our representatives that y'all work for us and that we have rights and that y'all shouldn't use our tax dollars to deny us our rights. And then we got to go deeper in our pockets to go fight for our rights. And I've been there. I've done it 3 times now, twice with the city and once with the state. Every time I go and put fuel in my trucks, every time I buy materials, I'm thinking, man, I am putting money into the machine. They're taking taxes from me into the machine that is whipping my own butt. I'm having to pay for my own whipping. It's terrible. And that's what Eager Beaver had to do. They had to pay for y'all to remove and deny them the right, and then he had to pay to get his right back. So please, I'm asking y'all, when y'all vote on this, y'all need to think about, they need to be approved for the 2016 when they applied, not all the other stuff that was done intentionally after the judge ruled against y'all. Then the changes took place for no reason other than more control. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into number 2 exhibit. And this here kind of goes into what y'all were talking about today about the tourism tax, the tourism board. I filmed it in here because I kind of was like, whoa, what's going on here? And I really wanted to name the names on the tourism board because County Commissioner D2 didn't even want to say their last names. I heard him say PC and I heard him say Brian, but he didn't say all their names. So I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a, because Mr. Lumen May asked, for gosh, who's on the board? I had the same thing. Who's on the board? Let's see. All right, well, Doug is on the board. PC Wu, Councilman PC Wu, Councilman Brian Spencer. So there we got 3 government representatives on the board already. All right. Now these other ones I don't know. I don't know this. Nan Harper is on the board under the Interested in Tourism. Gregory Jones, I believe, is from Perdido Key. Douglas is County Commissioner D2 is from Perdido Key. And then Ronald Riviera is from Perdido Key area. So there we got 3 right there. Then we got 3 more. Shirley Cronley, Patricia Slider, and Nareese Patel. These are the hotel industries, okay? Those are the ones who are deciding where that $8 or $11 million, whatever it is every year, I guess where it's going to be spent and who's going to get it and what all that kind of stuff. Divvy it up, as Mr. Douglas Underhill, the county commissioner said. We're going to divvy it up, all right? Well, I got a problem whenever I pulled these names up and I recognize Ronald Riviera. I see him at every one of at County Commissioner D2. I see him at every single campaign rally. He's campaigning for Mr. Underhill. They're serving on the same board. They're discussing, I mean, I can't say what they're discussing, but I can say I know of this video that some of the tourism business was discussed in a video with Mr. Ronald Riviera in the same room. Now, I think it's a conflict of interest, for one, to have anybody on your campaign and to be on a board with them that's subject to sunshine laws. I mean, it's unethical to me to do that. I mean, it would be like one of y'all saying, hey, you want to run my campaign? You're not getting reelected this year. How about you come and help? That wouldn't be right. So, I mean, that's kind of influencing, what they're up there to do. So naturally, they're going to be voting together. I mean, if you just common sense, they're hanging out, they're waving. I got pictures. They're standing beside each other on the street corners. They're at the campaign center. So anyways, can we watch the video now so I can kind of show y'all, since I'm at that point, to where Mr. Riviera is in the room.
Okay. Yeah, I don't control it from here. Someone who controls the video, we could go ahead.
Where do I plug it in at? Oh, is it? Oh, got it.
You got the button right there?
Everything I do is by phone, fellas.
Okay.
I don't know how to work a computer.
Is the Destination 2020. I think most people have forgotten about this, but really this is the strategic framework for how we use tourism to do everything else that we do in Escambia County, and using tourism as a leveraging tool or as a force multiplier for our economic development. And if we're going to be talking about Perdido Key, obviously we need to be talking about the Destination 2020 and how those tourism development dollars come back to Perdido Key to evolve or to enable the things that we're trying there.
Now what that is, in that same room, just maybe 15 feet from there, is Mr. Riviera, and I have the whole video. I'll send it all. Matter of fact, if you go to the Facebook, Douglas's or County Commissioner D2, you'll see it. It was live streamed, or it's on somebody's, and I think he shared it. That's how it was sent to me. So in the same room, while he's discussing the 2020 and the tourism stuff that they're obviously going to be voting on, is Ronald Riviera in the same room. Now, if nothing else, if it's not, I mean, at the bare minimum, it's just not right. It shouldn't be done. And I've had many of debates with Mr. Ronald at the campaign and at the the different debates going on, and and then it's just too much. It's too much. It's not right. So I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention so that maybe our county attorney could advise County Commissioner D2 to maybe refrain from this sort of conduct that makes us people question the integrity of what he is doing, because that's the whole reason why he lost my support, because I can't tolerate something like that out of our representative. It's too much. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I wanted to thank, and Grover's not here, but I wanted to thank the 3 commissioners who voted to proceed forward with the beach access number 4. That should have been done years ago, but at least it's going to start process now. Douglas didn't want, County Commissioner D2 did not want it to take place. Almost smoke was coming out of his ears. And I don't understand, because I was just at a meeting last week at Hub Stacy's, where he tells the group of citizens that come from Inner that this is going to be majority rules. It's going to be majority rules tonight. Y'all tell us if y'all want us to do this or not, if you want it done. And I'm at the meeting now. I can only stay there a few minutes. I say don't ask the government to do anything. Y'all better get them out of here quick. But he tells them that. Same thing I tell them about the beach access. I said, hey, the majority of the citizens want that beach access open. And he says, so you want mob rules? How's it mob rules one way and majority rules the other way? And I'm like, the only other way that I can see it is if it ain't if you're not representing the majority of us, then there's either it's majority rules or it's dictator, unless it's specifically spelled out in our Constitution, which I believe our government steps over that line all the time also. Unfortunately, plenty of Supreme Court cases showing that, just like Eager Beaver. That's basically a Supreme Court case. Would have been. All right, so anyways, I'm about to let you go. All right, Dollar General. Dollar General's coming up, Mr. Lumen. Please vote for these people's rights. They have the property no different than Eager Beaver did. I know County Commissioner District 2 and some of the citizens out there don't want Dollar General on the property where it is allowed to be. I don't know where the citizens or the representatives of these people get to decide what type of business goes on their property. I mean, either the market will support a Dollar General there or it won't. And if it doesn't, that ain't a bad thing. There'll be a nice building there with all the improvements where maybe, just maybe, a YMCA may go next. When the government starts meddling, you don't know what all the harm is going to happen because they don't even let it go. Maybe somebody will get a good deal on it and turn it into a community center for those kids around that neighborhood. You just don't know. But denying people, whenever it states in the zoning and the classification of the commercial property that they can do it, y'all should not be saying no just because a few citizens get up here and say no, because that goes back to the 14th Amendment and Constitution, and either we're going to have zoning that goes for everyone or we're not. You can't pick and choose and say, well, we don't want a bowling alley there. Too bad. Come back with another plan. That ain't y'all's job. That's just it. That's government controlling every aspect of what we do, including saying, well, you know, that business is not going to be supported by the people. Let's see. If it doesn't, it'll close and something else will be there, something that's needed. So please, on the Dollar General, as it goes forward, of course, you know, D2 is going to be against it. And he tries to convince other people. But, you know, bottom line is either we got to have some freedom or we don't. And I would prefer freedom over safety any day, freedom over zoning any day, freedom over a shipping container any day. Move them in next door. Give me the freedom. Real quick on the beach access, I didn't get to say this last time. Seafair is bluffing. I know they're bluffing. They ain't going to sue. They'll lose. They'll lose. I'm positive that in my opinion, and in most of the people I've talked to, including a couple of condo owners out there, when the attorneys go back to them and say, hey, we proceed forward with 20, 30 spots out there, and we're going to do the walkover for the people. You know, you forced us to buy it. Now let's do what you said you was going to do with it. Slated for beach access and conservation. Let's do both. I want to be able to go out there, get on that parking lot, walk on that crossover. I want to be able to get my binoculars, my night vision binoculars. I want to be able to look at those beach mouse that are so important. The rodents, I want to look at them. I want to be able to, I want an observation tower out there to look at those beach mouse, see how they're doing and track them. I mean, that's where we're at. They're bluffing. Whenever they go back to their association meeting and say, well, they're moving forward with it, what do you want to do? You want to spend $200,000-$300,000 suing them? And any attorney that's worth their salt is going to say, you're most likely going to lose, because that's what it was purchased for. And you sold it to them. That's a little hard to you know, they sold it to us. And then they don't want the people to use it. That's craziness. You don't get that. You don't get to make yourself $3.1 million and then tell the people, just look at it as you fly over in a plane. No. Anyways, gentlemen, I'm going to spare y'all the rest of it. I really appreciate the time. I'd like to donate any of my time that I have left to Michael Bearden if he wants it. He's probably...
Okay, hang on one second. Judy,
if it's possible.
Hang on. Pause it.
Oh,
You've got 19 minutes left, so.
hold it. I got one more thing here. I forgot.
Uh-oh. Well, I spoke too
I
soon.
didn't get through all of my
Exhibits?
exhibits.
Okay.
We got exhibit number 2.
Exhibit number 2.
Exhibit number 2.
Number 2.
This is what I'm relating back to the tourism also. You know, he's on this board, this tourism board, along with a friend and a campaigning partner. You know, you can say that. I know they're friends, and I know he's campaigning for Doug. So that's a campaigning partner on a board with him. Mm-hmm. So midway through, I've got it underlined, the most important part. The rest is rhetoric and arrogance. He says, businesses out on Pensacola Beach suffer with hooliganism because Lewis won't let the county have basic limitations on alcohol consumption. Now, what kind of person that's supposed to be a libertarian leaning libertarian is going to say, you know, hey, people, why don't y'all just let us limit you? And get mad because we don't want to be limited. We want the government to be limited. We want it the other way around. So anyways, just listen to that. Now that's part of tourism. That's part of tourism. He's on the board making these type of suggestions, and he's advocating for what he wants, which ain't what I want. It ain't what the general public want. All right. Then we're going to go to number 3, and then that's it. All right. No, exhibit number 3.
17.
I haven't read this one yet, have I?
Hey,
Larry,
that was eager beaver.
Larry, I'll be chair after this, and if you want to just yield that time to the next public forum, I'll give it to you.
You got it. All right. This is what he. Now, did I read this?
Yes,
I think
you
I
did.
did.
This was Eager Beaver.
Yeah. Eager Beaver. All right, we're good. All right, I'm gonna spare you, Mr. Lumen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry. Okay, very good.